Hello and welcome to the Never Games. We have another very exciting episode for you this week. TJW from the Pick Me podcast joins us on the second half of the episode. Please give us a like, a follow, a subscribe wherever you find great podcasts. This week, Trevor founds Harvard, Connor does something totally legal with a ferret, and Tom is a shockingly good cryptographer. This is Season 2, Episode 11, 6 Months with the Bear.
It's going to be a great episode.
Yeah, it is. Let's start with Theme Between the Lines.
Well, hold on one sec.
Okay.
Say it again.
Now let's start Theme Between the Lines.
Let's start with Theme Between the Lines. It's my turn to run it. This game, if you haven't listened before, is I have 4 trivia questions that these 3 will have to answer. And all 4 of them revolve around one central theme. If you think you know what that theme is, reach out to us. Let us know what your guess is. So, question number 1.
Yeah.
Do it.
Which of the following is believed to be why orange-haired cats are common throughout the world? Is it A, because King Edward I had red hair and therefore liked red-haired cats and had hundreds of them bred during his reign? Is it B, when the Great Fire of Rome burned out, Emperor Nero had red cats released throughout Rome so that the populace would never forget the event? Or is it C, the Vikings just kind of liked orange-haired cats, so they took them everywhere they went?
Now, are we talking like more factual than like, Grandma, why is my cat red? Because it's meant to be in hell. like, is it more?
I got this from a reputable source.
So this is not a folklore thing. This is like the actual thing that is believed to be why.
It is, as I worded the question, it's believed to be why.
Right, okay.
Here's the thing that really shocks me. If it's not B, that Trevor remembered that Nero was the emperor when Rome burned. And that's why I'm going to go with C, Vikings.
I'm also going to go Vikings.
I was also going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah.
But just to hedge my bets and break it up, I'm going to go with A.
Go with A?
Yeah.
No one thinks it was Nero.
The correct answer is C. It is the Vikings.
Oh, I'm a dick.
They just kind of liked them,
You,
and they're able to trace like the genetics of red-haired cats back to the
Thor
Vikings.
Ragnarok.
Yeah, I legitimately
And
did
the reputable
think that
source was the BBC.
what it was, but I didn't like that we all answered the same thing.
Yeah.
Like 23 and meow. All right, let's moving on.
You didn't even
God
let
damn
that
it.
one sit at all.
No,
Yeah.
he's hoping it gets cut.
Yeah.
It won't.
No,
Yeah.
it won't. Nothing gets cut in this
Question
fucking
number
show.
2.
God damn it.
The Statue of the 3 Lies is located at Harvard University. It's named such because of 3 incorrect facts that are inscribed on the statue. Which of the following is not one of the 3 lies? Is it A, it says it is a statue of John Harvard when it's actually of a random person? Is it B, it says that John Harvard founded the school, but he did not? Is it C, it says that it was founded in 1638 when it was actually founded in 1636? Or is it D, it says that John Harvard's birthday is April 18th when it's actually March 18th? So which of those is not a false thing that is inscribed on this statue?
Oh, which is not. Oh.
So there are 3 existing carvings. They are all fictional. Which one of these is a fictional statement on?
You can just say
Yes.
true, Tom.
No, it's not true.
We don't. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, it's not true. I'll
Oh,
tell you that.
Okay, so it's just one that you made up. Okay.
Yep. And again, those are, it says that it is a statue of John Harvard, but it's actually a random person. It says that John Harvard founded the school, but he did not. It says that it was founded in 1638, but it was actually founded in 1636. Or it says John Harvard's birthday is April 18th when it's actually March 18th.
I'm gonna say the one that is not on there is that John Harvard founded the school.
I'm going to say A,
So
the
that's B?
statue was a random person.
Okay.
I'm going to say C, that Harvard was founded in 1658.
30 something.
38.
Yeah,
It
1630.
says 38, but it was actually 36.
Yeah. I'm going to go with C.
The correct answer is D.
Dicks.
Everybody gets it wrong. Yeah, so on this statue, it says John Harvard, founder, 1638. It is not a statue of John Harvard. He did not found the school, and it was not founded in 1638. And that's all that's on the statue. So
maybe they were
it's
talking
known as the statue of three lies.
Were they talking about the statue?
Oh, I got a little...
So
Okay, never mind.
it's intentionally misleading because John Harvard, the school is named after him, but just because it gave him a boatload of money. And he did that in 1638. So they called him a founder, said the year was actually the year that he gave the money, and then they just found a random person who, quote unquote, exemplified the ideals of John Harvard and made a statue
Attractive
of that
white
person.
guy. Got it.
Yep.
Right.
All right, question number 3. Right now, Tom has 1 and Noel has 1.
Going for
Connor has
seconds.
0. The first human nerve transplant happened on April 18th, 1963. Nerves of up to what length were transplanted? Was it up to 1 inch, up to 5.5 inches, or up to 13.25 inches long?
Can I ask where on the body? Or is that
I
giving it
do not
away?
know.
Exclusively the penis.
All right.
And I'm going 13 and a half.
Oh, I was gonna say 1, but yeah, sure.
I'm going to go... B was 5.5?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to go 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 5.5 too.
Let's
1
go
just seems
5.5.
like there's just no point in doing the thing. Just don't feel for that 1 inch span. Don't feel anything. It's fine.
I'm going to go the 13. I am going to go the 13.
I was going 13. All right, the correct answer, 5.5 inches.
Hey.
Yep.
Yes. Now, Tom has 1, Connor has 1, and Noel has 2 with 1 question left.
Here I go. I'm gonna blow it here, you guys.
In the show 30 Rock, main character Liz Lemon has an older brother who is mentally stuck in 1985 due to anterograde amnesia, which he got from what kind of accident? Is it A, a prop fell on his head during a high school play? Is it B, he was in a skiing accident? Or is it C, he was in a car accident that we later discover was caused by Tracy Jordan?
I'm going to go skiing.
I'm going to go...
Tom's going skiing.
I'm going to go C.
Connor's going car accident.
I'm gonna go theater. Fuck it.
All
Even though
right.
that's exactly the mentality that keeps getting me all these second place victories. But yeah, sure. I'll go with fuck it.
All right. Noel says fuck it, and he gets it wrong. Correct answer is a skiing accident.
Damn it! You knew it was skiing, motherfucker. Oh.
All right. I didn't prep a backup question. Hold on just a second. While
Bonus
I
question.
pull up a...
Did this coin come up heads or tails?
You won't believe the answer.
Doctors hate him. Unrelated to the coin thing. Trevor's just a terrible patient.
All right. The question is, according to the 2019 census, what is the population of Brookline, Massachusetts?
Wow.
I had to find something fast, so...
Is that an
I
open-ended
assume this is
question?
unrelated to the theme.
No, it's related.
Oh, shit.
I think the theme is numbers. Each of these questions has a number in it.
Brookline.
They also have words.
Ooh,
Theme
numbers.
could be words.
Numbers or words or
Yeah.
I'm
letters.
going to say 60,000.
The mini word.
Tom's going 60,000. Noel?
Wait, what's the population of Brookline?
Brookline.
It's got to be way more than 60,000. I'm going to say 75,000.
All right. Actual population, 59,180.
This is I hate this fucking game.
Second place for Noel. And congratulations to Tom, who wins this round of Theme Between the Lines. And again, all 5 of those questions, including the bonus, revolved around one theme. If you think you know what that theme is, reach out to us. You can email us at hello@thenevergames.com. Give us a phone call at 406-GAMES24. Or find us on social media. We're at _never_games. And with that, welcome to the Never Games. My name is Trevor. I am the CEO of Stickerbox Studios and the producer here at the Never Games.
My name is Tom O'Brien, and right now you're hearing me say a thing about me.
My name is Connor Provost, and the other day I experienced Taco Bell Cantina for the first time, and I don't think I'm going back for at least another year.
Wait, this is the first time you've gone to Taco Bell Cantina? Isn't it down the street from you?
Yeah, but this is the first time that we actually managed to go to it.
Wow. You keep stopping at that pizza place with weird conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm Noel McInnes. Connor, I just want to hear more of this. I want to hear your journey.
So we walked...
Every little detail, Connor.
No, we walked down to Taco Bell Cantina.
Did you wear high heels?
I did not wear high heels, but it was like a 40-minute walk. So when I say down the street, it's like kind of down the street.
It's on the same street.
Yeah, it's in the same city or whatever. But yeah, so we're playing video games, we're drinking, we're smoking, we're having a good time, and then we decide that we're going to go down to Taco Bell Cantina. We walk there, we get there, I order a cheesy gordita crunch, a Doritos Locos Tacos, and a soft taco supreme. And then I also order a Sam 76 beer, because that's what you can do. And I eat that, I drink that, and then I'm like, still kind of hungry. Mistake. Go back in, get 2 more cheesy gordita crunches, and a Mountain Dew Baja Blast Freezy with 2 shots of vodka in it.
God.
Drink that, eat that. My buddy's like,
You're
why didn't you get
alcohols on top of Taco Bell?
Huh?
That's the whole point.
That's the whole point.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Does this Taco Bell have separate bathrooms for throwing up in than for actually using the bathroom?
They just have larger bathrooms.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's just like a lot of buckets outside and stuff, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, that driveway must be or the drive-through must be a disaster.
Oh, it's awful, man.
No, it's not. It's not the drive-through that's a mess. It's the roundabout that's about a mile away.
But yeah, so and then my buddy gets mad at me for ordering 2 more cheesy gordita crunches and not getting a quesalupa, which that's a made-up word. But
what at Taco Bell is it?
I know
you got a Baja Blast with 2 shots of vodka in it. That's
so the quesalupa is basically a taco, but just like the outer shell is like the best thing I can compare it to is like funnel bread.
The Baja Blast turned into a Fuego Blast by the end of the night.
It didn't hit me until the next day, I will have you know.
I would have just gone with a classic Diablo Blast, but yeah, sure.
So it's like a deep fried shell that has like cheese in it, and then that's used as the taco shell. And it's amazing, but it's very heavy. And I already had so many tacos before that. So then the next day, I'm supposed to go to band practice. I'm like, guys, not happening. So Taco Bell Cantina, it's a magical place that you should only go to once a year.
Now, I'm going to make a controversial statement here that I'm curious what you all have to say about. The idea of a Doritos Locos Tacos sounds like the most disgusting thing I've ever conceived of.
You're wrong.
Yep, you're right. That was controversial.
You're wrong.
Yeah.
You're right. It's delicious.
It's
I gotta side with Tom on this. I would never try that.
Dude, it's literally just the same thing as like if you use Doritos as like the base for nachos.
Yeah, that doesn't sound good.
That sounds awesome.
It sounds pretty damn good. I mean,
you don't smoke enough weed is really what it comes down to.
That's true. We are a distinct split here between really not a whole lot of weed, whole lot of weed.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, Tom.
They are good, and I will say they would be better if they used Cool Ranch Doritos as the base instead of the nacho cheese Doritos.
I did eat most of a bag of Cool Ranch Doritos today.
Cool Ranch
Now-
is the way to go.
Don't they have Cool Ranch?
No, they just have the one. It's the nacho cheese.
I think they had it for a
Oh.
brief period of
They
time, but they
did.
decided it was too expensive for the number of people who were ordering it.
No, it's just
Yeah.
like their bathrooms were full of blood, and they were like, "We got to get rid of something."
Yeah. So then they decided to get rid of potatoes, probably the most healthiest thing on the menu.
Now, how many of you guys have eaten at a Kentaco Hut?
I feel like we need to up the class here of this conversation. The other day, I accidentally spent $45 on 3 steaks because I saw the price per pound and was like, "Oh, that's pretty cheap for 3 steaks."
Right.
And then I checked out, and then I burned the steaks.
No,
That's the worst part.
dude.
I destroyed them.
Did you burn them and then cover them in ketchup?
No, I tried grilling them, and I wanted to get cheap ones because I'd never grilled a steak before. And I was like, if I screw up, it'll be fine. These ones are only $13. Nope, per pound.
Whew.
It's pretty easy. Just put it on and take it off.
Steak, like the big thing is making sure you get that sear and then turn it down. You know.
Yeah.
I've found that any online recipe for cooking meat on a grill is terrible because grills are massively inconsistent.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, I would always go pan to oven before putting it on a grill, personally.
But if the point is learning
So-
to grill a steak,
I mean,
Like-
fair.
Yeah. Grilled steak just tastes better. Plus, I don't have a cast iron, and all the grilled
so
oven
you're gonna say I
things
don't
are
have a
like-
stove.
I think I do. I'm not totally sure.
All right.
Anyway,
we should probably play a
should
game, right?
Yeah.
So I got a game for you guys this week called Fine or Time. So
Ooh.
I don't know if you guys know this, but our country's fucking weird and stupid. And they've got a really
You'll have to be more specific.
like a whole bunch of really weird, stupid, dumb leftover laws that were made at some point that just still are on the books.
I
And-
see. This is
This is the
dive bar
exam.
exam.
Yeah. So it's just a lot of like just random fucking leftover laws. But basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a random law. There are 2 rounds for each question. First of all, you have to tell me whether the punishment for this law is a fine or time in jail. And then
Okay.
anybody who gets that first round correct then goes on to the second round where they have to tell me what that fine is or how long in jail.
Sure.
Okay.
For the second round, I will go whoever is closest unless it's only one person moving on. You get 1 point for each round. If you get it dead on the second round, I will give you 2 points.
All right.
Okay. So potential 3
Okay,
points per
okay.
round.
Correct. All right. So the first one here, in Florida, already starting off hot. It is illegal to participate in dwarf tossing since it was outlawed in 1989. There
So
was
recent.
actually an attempt to repeal this law in 2011, but fortunately it was unsuccessful. I need you to tell me, are you going to get fined or are you going to get time in jail?
Fined.
Fined.
Ooh. Yeah, I got to go fine on that.
All right, you guys are all going fine?
Yeah.
Well, you are all correct.
Nice.
Now, can I give you the reason why I thought it was a fine?
Yeah, of course.
Because the little person has consented.
Yeah.
It's fair. I mean, you don't know what was going on in the 80s.
Well, God, I hope they consented, because otherwise that's a hate crime.
Yes, it
Yep,
is.
Yep.
Which I think is kind of where they landed on as far as like actually making it illegal. All right, so round number 1, subsection B. How much is that fine, my
Can-
boys?
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yeah.
Is that fine still in 80s dollars, or has it been updated for today money?
Oh.
It's a stagnant amount. I mean, it's a stagnant amount, but obviously today money would be worth more than, or you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right.
But it is. The amount has not changed.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'm going to go $7.50.
Hmm.
What's the fine on jaywalking?
I don't fucking know.
I mean-
Jays can walk anywhere they want, Noel, or they can fly.
Thanks, Tom.
All right.
Noel's so
I'm gonna
sick of this
go-
podcast.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 1,500.
I'm gonna go 5.
My thoughts are this has to be enough of a fine that any bar that wants to put this event on is gonna like
Lose money.
look at the amount and be like, I'm not gonna earn more than that from
Right.
this.
Fair. Well, the actual amount is $1,000, which gives the point to Tom.
God.
So
damn.
scores currently are Tom with 2, Trevor with 1, Noel with 1. So in Mississippi, swearing in front of 2 or more people in public is considered lewd or unsavory conduct, and a person can be charged with a misdemeanor. Is your punishment a fine, or is it time in jail?
Fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna say fine
Fine.
on this.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody's saying fine?
Mm-hmm.
You are all
Yeah.
wrong.
Ah.
You will get jail time up to 30 days in jail.
I was gonna say jail time,
Wow.
but then I was like, misdemeanors. Like, how often are
Right.
misdemeanors
Yeah.
like jail time?
Right.
But,
That was my little trickery.
We
oh,
gotta
you
make
did
our-
it. You tricked us all.
We got to
It's
make a
good.
live show in Mississippi. That'll be like the biggest brouhaha they've
Yeah.
ever seen.
Again, I don't know that any of these laws are currently enforced, but
I
yeah.
hope not.
Oh
Yeah.
man, we'll be. So
Well, I hope the
stupid to lose
dwarf
there.
tossing one
The
is.
Yeah.
dwarf tossing one, I really hope is
The
is
swearing
enforced.
one, I highly doubt.
I hope that it's not enforced in that like it doesn't come up, but
It doesn't need to be enforced.
Right.
We've evolved as a society
Yeah.
enough.
Oh
All
come
right.
on, you know we haven't.
I know. I can be hopeful.
Yeah.
next one comes from Idaho. So when it outlawed the act in 1990, Idaho actually became the only U.S. state to declare cannibalism illegal. That is cannibalism of any part of the human body, with the stipulation that if it is a life or death situation, you're gonna
They
be
can
fine.
die.
No, you're gonna be like you won't be
Yeah.
held accountable in a court of law.
If the cannibal is in a life
Yeah,
or death, not
correct.
Right, if
person.
your plane
Okay.
crashes in
Yeah,
the
and if
Arctic
you're like-
mountains of
I thought it was like, oh no, I'm
Mississippi.
going to die.
Right.
You
right.
can
But
eat
in any other
Unless-
situation, if you eat
Yeah.
any part of a human being,
Noel, I need you to eat my hand or else I'm going to die.
yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
yeah. So is that a fine or is it time?
This also seems like one of your trickeries. I want to say fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna say time.
I'm gonna say time as well.
It should be time, but I don't think it's gonna.
It is time.
Fuck.
That is a point for Trevor and Tom.
Yeah.
Moving on to the second round. How many years in the whole world of your life do you get for eating a person in Idaho?
30 years.
Okay.
Now I know I don't qualify for this, but I'm going to answer it anyway. 5 years.
Okay.
See, I was thinking closer to Noel, but gamesmanship is gonna put me at 25.
Well, gamesmanship, you little dick. Yep. It's the actual amount is 14 years.
Oh, I was gonna say 15.
So 14 years in prison. So that is an extra point for Trevor, which moves our score.
Yeah.
Tom and Trevor are tied at 3, and Noel has 1.
Yeah.
Next one. In West Virginia, it is illegal to hunt, catch, take, kill, injure, or pursue a wild animal with the use of a ferret. You cannot go hunting with a ferret.
What if
Is
you were
that a-
hunting ferret?
They're not allowed. They're not allowed.
They cannot be involved in the act.
Is that a fine or is it time?
I'm saying that's a fine.
I'm saying time.
I'm gonna go fine as well because I want to eke out the point. I want to say time, but I want the point more.
Oh, the points don't matter. That's why I have so much fun with it.
Well, it is in fact a fine.
Fuck. I'm
Yeah.
having so much fun.
I'm sorry, bud. So that is, yeah. Moving on to the second round. How much is that fine for hunting with a ferret?
500.
Oh,
1.2
I'll take the over.
billion.
I'll go.
So Noel says 200 million.
I'll say 750.
750. All right, that is a point to Tom.
God damn.
Yep. The actual amount of the fine for hunting with a ferret is $100. So really not that bad.
Now, I'm not a hunter, but what advantage is a ferret giving you?
Low.
Yeah.
Maybe if
Low.
you're looking for like badgers and stuff, like things that burrow.
Yeah, like small animals.
But I
They're
feel like
low.
a
They can-
ferret would be an easy target for a badger. So
They can
like,
find
Yeah.
beetles.
Yeah, I can't think of a situation where a dog's not better.
right. Yeah. I mean, there are specifically dogs that are bred to hunt the smaller animals that burrow. So, well, I do have one more. Noel, unfortunately, you won't be able to catch Tom.
I'll still have fun anyway. Thanks for having me on your show, you guys.
But there is a possibility that you can tie for second.
That still
Ooh.
counts.
Yeah. All right. So
Second is
Louisiana
second.
law, Louisiana, states that individuals involved in a match or contest between one or more persons and a bear for the purpose of fighting or engaging in a physical altercation are guilty of bear wrestling. It is illegal to wrestle a bear in Louisiana.
Just so weird because that was one of the true things on fucking John Harvard's statue.
Is that a fine or time?
I feel like the act is just punishment enough.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
say time.
Okay.
Where is this, Louisiana?
Yep.
I want to say fine.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with fighting a bear. I'm gonna say fine.
All right. So we got time for Tom, and Noel and Trevor, you're both going fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that gives the game to Tom.
Shit.
Yeah, it was in fact time. Since you're the only one moving on, there's no second part, but if you wanted to go ahead and throw out a guess just for
90
it.
days.
90 days. No, it is actually 6 months.
With the bear.
6 months with the bear as your cellmate.
Yeah. It's a
Now, to
real
be fair, if-
life of pie situation here.
You're in jail. You've got a new cellmate, and you're like, "What are you in for?" And he's like, "I fought a bear."
It's like, oh shit, okay, all right.
You're not messing with that guy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
You want the top bunk or the bottom bunk? Up to you.
Whatever you want, man.
You want some toilet wine? I just finished making.
But
This fucking jabroni doesn't even know I lost to the bear. I just fought the
So
bear.
you just got a scar across your face.
Yeah.
Liver's missing.
yeah, but that has been my game. Fine or time.
That was a good game.
one. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that.
You guys want to take a break?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. And when we come back, we have special guest TJW, host of the Pick Me Pod, our first returning friend of the show.
Today's episode is brought to you by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with advertisers that fit your audience. That's podgo.co at podgo.co. And be sure to add our podcast, The Never Games, in the How Did You Hear About Podgo section of the application. That's podgo.co.
Hey guys, it's time for me to reveal last week's theme between the lines. Did any of you guys guess it?
I know this one. I don't.
I think this might have been the first one where it's legitimately stumped.
No idea.
The theme for last week's theme between the lines was turn of the century pulp magazines, which was the
Nerd.
inspiration for I know for all of these things. So pulp magazines were a big inspiration on Mike Mignola's writing on Hellboy. Specifically, the magazine Black Mask, which was the answer to question number 2, was the inspiration for Quentin Tarantino's Pulp Fiction. Tarzan of the Apes and Zorro both started as pulp magazines. So that was the theme for last week's theme between the lines. If you think you know this week's theme between the lines, you can hit us up at most social media at _never_games. Send us an email at hello@thenevergames.com, or you can give us a call on your telephone. The phone number for that is
911.
406-GAMES-24. That's 406-426-3724. We did get a correct answer this week, shockingly, from Giant Nerd 23. who sent us a private message on Instagram.
It was just you writing to us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Was it you, Tom?
No. Anyways, the very handsome Giant Nerd 23 got it right.
So congratulations to Mott. Mott will gather, just some prizes.
Yeah. We love hearing from our fans. Reach out to us if you think you know the theme to this week's Theme Between the Lines.
Cheers is like one of the greatest television shows ever made because Boston.
I had some concerns that being a sitcom from the 80s that it was not going to hold up well.
That was my question, yeah.
And but what I've heard from people is that it does surprisingly well, as opposed to shows starring wax figurine Jim Parsons, which don't hold up well, having come out present.
I love that we have this ongoing non-feud with Jim Parsons.
He's well aware of y'all's existence too, right?
Sure.
I'm sure.
Nemesis of the show,
Jim Parsons.
We DM him
If
constantly.
he ever wants to come on and debate me, he's welcome to.
Oh, let's throw it out.
I would love him on the show, but his Stump the Expert would be something that we choose. And it'd be like, question 1, where the fuck do you get off, Jim Parsons?
Are we recording for the show yet, or are we still just chatting?
Yeah.
This
is. If we're saying stuff about Jim Parsons, it is on the air.
All right.
Question 2, who do you think you are?
Before we get too far into this, we should welcome our guest.
Yeah.
Hi.
It's Jim Parsons, everybody.
Hi, TJ. Welcome back.
Yes, we have TJW, host of the Pick Me Pod.
I appreciate coming back, and it's great to be here talking with you guys again. This will be fun.
It will be, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
You're our first return guest, and I don't know what that says about us, but it says something about
you.
something else.
I'm actually really honored to be here because I've listened to the past couple shows, and you had this amazing artist on, and you had an award-winning writer-producer of his own content. And then here's this guy you've never heard of that just talks his opinion on other people's stuff. And hey, that's me. So,
being a good friend of Willow's, I will say that's mostly what she does too. We should do a quick shout out to not to interrupt TJ's time, but Arun was nominated for a Webby today. So
That's right.
Everyone out there in Radio Land, if you liked Arun last week, you should go vote for him for a Webby.
Congratulations to another former guest of the Never Games.
Yes, clearly our equal. If you're listening to this, I'm so sorry. I apologize for that
another
previous
podcast
statement.
that you have heard of called the Wonder Women.
I saw that.
They actually gave me an award for the most meta podcast. So they ended their last season giving out awards, and I got one. So I guess there's that.
You know what? Did we get an award? I think we
We
got an
did.
award.
I forget exactly what it was. It was something like the best podcast that was not our podcast that we were also on so far.
That was a throwaway category if there ever was
It was
one.
they had the little image of the trophy, and the font was 3. And so they could fit in all the stipulations that they gave to the award that they gave us.
Yeah.
Now, this leads me into my first real question for you, TJ. How many podcasts have you been on now? Since starting Pick Me.
So I think a total of 6 different podcasts I've actually done a guest spot on.
That's pretty good.
And then I've had guests come onto my show because at the time of this recording, I'm putting out my Podcaster's Choice series, which I'm very excited and would talk more about at any point in time you want me to. But the Podcaster's Choice series coming out, so I'm talking to other podcast hosts, so I'm having them come on.
Just adding one more level of meta to your podcast.
Right.
Oh yeah, I'm all about it. I really enjoy the networking and the little community that exists in indie podcasts, and I inadvertently have touched many different little sectors of this community. So, you know, I'm seeing different little pods of people talking with each other, and that's really exciting. And it's been really fun to just kind of like stumble into this community and into doing the whole podcast and everything. And I'm having a blast doing it. And you know, it's not like I woke up one day and was like, I want to be a podcast critic. It's just, you know, something that I just kind of started doing for the fun of it. And I'm really liking how the networking is coming together. And I like meeting other people who are like me. We're just like, you know, I have an idea, something that I want to talk about. So I'm going to, you know, make a podcast about it. And I guess I like getting to know those kind of people, which are the kind of people you guys are.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hey,
well,
that's me.
I mean, I think that's what's
People
super
like
cool
me.
about.
I'm a guy like me.
I think that's what's super cool about like what you do, because like you're talking so extensively about like the community and the networking and that kind of thing. But I mean, like your podcast purpose is to like build that network and create that community.
Oh yeah, I really like to help people get that kind of exposure.
Yeah, I gotta say, one of the most exhilarating moments of my life was when Trevor sent us the link of your initial review on our show. I was so scared. I've never been any more scared for like a 45-second clip of like our first review ever. And then it turned out great, and I was like, man.
Yeah, because we're just like throwing stuff out there with like just kind of cuz for the most part, and to like hear somebody else talk about it and like that was a really cool experience. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, I listen to it, you know, and I personally like podcasts where it's like people sitting around talking, because when they get really engrossed in their conversation, you kind of start to forget that you're listening to a podcast, and you think that you're just there among a group of friends as well, and y'all are just, you know, shooting the shit. You know, so I already liked that kind of podcast, and I really thought that the concept that you guys did was pretty unique, where it's like, you know, we're going to invent a game, and then we're all going to play it together. Like, that was a really fun concept. And, I mean, to tell you the truth, like, going into what you guys have done so far for Season 2, I really think that you've made the kind of improvements that start to make a podcast better. You've really got, you know, a little more organization to things. You know, you've got your segment set up. Everything's clicking really well. So I'm really excited for your Season 2. It's been fun to listen to.
We appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
Appreciate
that. We've been reading a lot of podcast books, which is just the most popular subject to talk about.
Right. When Noel says we, he means he. Has been
and Trevor's got a book, right?
Yeah, I got a podcast.
Yeah, so we've been reading 2 podcast books.
But I mean, to be
at the
fair,
same
like,
time, overlapping each other.
Yeah, just shouting at each other.
Well, the hard work shows, you guys. It shows.
Yeah.
Thank you. I mean, to be fair, that kind of started with your review, because you were like, I mean, we really took to heart like everything that you said. But like, enough about like your relationship with us. Like,
the same stuff all goes for you, TJ. Like,
thanks.
You can listen to like your early episodes compared to like the newest ones, and especially this new. You've only got 2 of them out at the time of this recording with the podcasters' picks. Like, the quality of those is really great, especially since it is you having those types of conversations with other people in the same genre who are like doing the same work.
So if you want to kind of like break it down for the listeners, what's the main difference between where you started with like Pick Me and now doing the podcasters picks? How would you describe like, what you're doing?
A lot of it is stuff that is actually ends up getting covered in this Podcasters Choice series, and it's because that I wanted to talk to people who had started going through the same experience I did. You know, I decided to make a podcast, so you know, I started out, I came up with an idea that I think that that I personally thought that I could produce rather quickly. Because at the time, I was just thinking about, you know, I want to start a podcast. Let me come up with an idea real quick, go through the motions, see if it's something that I could feasibly do. And so, you know, I started this idea and got a little bit of an audience, and I started, you know, I got on a couple podcasts, and I was like, okay, so this is starting to be fun, and I kept going with it. And I've listened to a lot of different podcasts, and I've said this on my show, you know, I've listened to some really good ones and I've listened to some really bad ones. And other podcast hosts that I had been in contact with before I even started gave me a great piece of advice. Brent Hand from the Hysteria 51 podcast gave me a great piece of advice not to be too critical of people, because, you know, you don't want to hurt feelings. You know, people can be kind of sensitive, especially when they're just putting their stuff out there. It's not like they're getting paid for it. They're just putting their stuff out there, you know? And I took that to heart. And so I framed my whole podcast around, I'm going to find the good stuff, and I'm going to bring you what I think is good content. So if you get a review on Pick Me, it's because I think this show is well produced, you know, it's engaging, it covers its concept well. So I can be a quote unquote podcast critic without like breaking down people's feelings and stuff, because I don't want to do that. You know, I'm not trying to. I know the hard work that it takes to put the show out there. And I wanted to start this Podcaster's Choice series to examine that process and talk to other podcast hosts about their experience, to kind of give people, you know, if you're a new podcaster or if you're thinking about making a podcast, the series will be full of a lot of helpful hints and tips from people who have actually gone through the same process that you're about to. Because you can, you know, you can Google which microphone is the best, and, you know, you can Google how to produce it, but getting that firsthand experience, I think, is valuable.
It was also, I was listening last week to your conversation with the Wonder Women, and bring it back to
that like?
They're fun. I love talking with them.
They are a lot of fun.
Yeah, they
awesome. Were great.
One thing that they were saying though was that it's like it's a labor of love, and you do it because you want to do it. And you know, like Noel said, like we have these podcast books, and the one that I was reading was like, you know, you got to decide how you want to monetize. Do you want to go to Vice? Do you want to go to? And I was like, that's not. You can't just go to Vice if you're just trying to start a like that's not a real option. And listening to them talk about how, like, you know, we keep doing it and the numbers slowly grow, and that's what it's actually like. It's a very real look at it, which is really cool to see.
Well, and that's another thing that gets mentioned a lot in my series, is, you know, we talk about those expectations. What are the realistic expectations for you to have if you're starting to make a podcast? You know, if you think that you're a relative nobody, you know, as in like you're not famous, you don't have a following, you have nothing established, and you have these dreams of, hey, I'm going to make a podcast, and suddenly, you know, I'm going to be raking in some money from iHeartRadio or something. That's not the norm. You know, you can't just do that.
There's literally millions.
Right.
Yeah. There's an endless supply. If you Google podcast on printers, there's 12 podcasts talking about all of the nuances of just Canon printers.
Right. And that's another reason why I think that I started Pick Me, is because there are so many podcasts out there about anything, about everything. And so, you know, you don't know sometimes until you start listening to something, like if it's going to be worth your time or not. And I think that my show helps for those who want that kind of, you know, guide. You know, hey, this is stuff that if you listen to it and you're into it, you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah. Plus, you're building up a backlog of, like, your episodes are specific. You've got, you know, episodes, you've got 2 seasons out, one on conspiracies and parapolitical, and now one on TV shows. So people looking for podcasts, as you make more shows and go into different topics, building up a backlog of, like,
You're the TV guide of podcasts.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Well, and something.
Encyclopedia Britannica.
I'll take it. I mean, I'll take the compliment. You guys are making me beam right now. You can't see it, but it's happening.
No, you seem pretty beamy right now.
That's still photo. I'm just as snarky in real life. So one of the things to give just a preview of season 3, because I already have a season 3 in the plan. I'm going to take after the Podcaster's Choice series is finished, which at the time of this recording, I got a couple more to come out. And then I'm going to have a little bit of a break because I got some stuff that I want to take care of. Because real life, that's another thing that we cover in that series is how to balance making your podcast with real life. But, I'll have a break. And then when I come back in season 3, I'm going to kind of break with that whole genre specific. Each episode is going to cover something new. So, and it's because I've discovered so many podcasts that I couldn't just put in some kind of mold like that. Like, these are about conspiracies. These are about TV shows. There's so many good ones out there that can't be categorized and easily referenced to steal an X-Files reference. So I think from here on in season 3, you're going to hear me covering a wide range of topics. So I think that'll be really fun.
That's exciting. Yeah, that's really exciting.
Yeah.
How many podcasts do you listen to? Because you've got weekly episodes coming out, and sometimes you have 3 different podcasts that you're reviewing on that, and you talk about like multiple episodes of all of these podcasts. Like, how many episodes a day do you listen to?
Well, I mean, probably it depends.
Do you want to answer that question?
I mean, it'd really make me seem bad because like people would like, if you listen to all those, how in the hell do you focus on your work? But my work is so like mind-numbingly boring. Like, it is literally, I see what's on a page and I push that corresponding button on my keyboard. I mean, it gets a little more complex than that, but I'm doing that a lot.
Yeah.
So, I'm at work 8 hours a day. So I'm usually, I mean, I listen to music sometimes too, but I'm usually listening to podcast episodes. And then, there are shows that I regularly listen to. Like each week I'll listen to anything Behind the Bastards does, because Robert Evans stuff is really, really great. So I'll listen to that. But then I'm also, if I'm planning what I'm going to do, a topic interests me, so I'm going to go ahead and jot it down. And this is what I've already started doing for season 3. I'll write down that topic, and then I'll literally just search for podcasts. And then it's I'm going to listen to an episode, and if I find something that I think first pass sounded pretty good, I'll give it a full episode. Then I'll give it another episode. I'll be like, you know what, I like this, and then start taking the notes. And that's pretty much the process.
Yeah.
So yeah, there are certainly podcasts that I listen to just because I like them. Some of them are big, and because they're big market podcasts, I'm not really going to review them because they don't need that coveted pick me bump. Right. But I still listen to them. So yeah, I certainly have my pleasure podcasts.
I've really devoted myself towards like these weird horror narrative podcasts, which I would have never listened to on like, a usual day. I usually go for like the big market like comedy shows, which kind of was a big sort of spur for this show. And I never would have thought of listening to just a really cool book on tape that lasts for like 24 hours.
Pretty soon true crime's gonna suck you in, dude.
Yeah, no, I already did true crime.
I
like fake crime because of all the monsters.
My wife listens to. My wife was listening to all the true crime, and I was like, I got sucked into a few of them. Like, I was really into Serial when it was big.
That is an entire rabbit hole, man.
Oh, I know, I know. That's why
endless.
Yeah,
supply.
that's why I may never review like just a straight true crime podcast, just because it's like the market is flooded, it's saturated.
Yeah.
I did have a question for you, TJ. So, I know people who, when the pandemic hit, they adopted a puppy or they started renovating their kitchen. We started a podcast. And you listen to so many of them. How many of the podcasts you listen to do you think are pandemic podcasts? And have you seen a big spike in like indie podcasts starting up because of the pandemic?
Now, this is actually a difficult question for me to answer because I generally wasn't keeping track until I decided to make my own podcast, which started in the middle of the pandemic. So,
Right.
it's not like in 2019 I was like, I am going to keep track of new podcast numbers. But now that you bring that up, I mean, it would be interesting to dig into because I would assume that you are correct because I did notice that, like, okay, I must admit, I shop on Amazon quite a bit. I got the app on my phone. I see the A for Amazon and like, I don't care about anything else. I just hit the damn button because I have problems. But yeah, so I just noticed that throughout 2020, man, like you started seeing audio gear getting pushed. Like you couldn't get in there without, sale microphone. And it's like, oh, so I see what you guys are pushing. So I'm assuming because they started pushing that there was some kind of up spike in sales. Because I mean, it really makes sense. So that's actually something that I should look into. That'd be interesting to find out.
All right. Well, it sounds like we got a pretty exciting season 3 of Pick Me coming up.
Absolutely. I can't wait.
Stoked for that.
Ooh, I also want to plug real quick because something else that I did was me and my friend Jake, we picked apart the Snyder's Cut. And that's another special thing that we did. Me picked apart the Snyder Cut.
It's so dumb.
we watched.
It's significantly better than the original release.
I mean, but that was.
We're not going to go into this now.
Yeah, if you ever need a guest on that show, I'll just tell you why it's so dumb.
So yeah, that I'll instead of getting us sidetracked, I'll just say, if you watch the Snyder Cut, go ahead and check out Pick Me Picks Apart the Snyder Cut.
So, as we mentioned, your first season of Pick Me was all about conspiracy theories, and I think you consider yourself kind of an expert.
Yes,
would you say on conspiracy theories?
Yeah, I say that. I don't think that I should be proud of it, but I am.
That's not the question.
Yeah. I do think that I'm a bit of an expert on conspiracies because, like, all my life I've always like been one of those people that like questioned the stuff. So I'd be really open-minded about, alternate theories about things. So I've always kind of been into it. Started with ghosts, moved on to aliens, and then kind of just like spread from there. So yeah, sadly, I'm well-versed in the crazy shit that people believe over reality.
But I think we're more focusing on JFK. Is that correct?
Yes. Now that one is fact.
Oh, all right.
All of it? All of it?
I mean, it depends. It depends on which story you go with, because there's like 50 different explanations.
I just really hate how you delivered the past, I don't know, 2-3 sentences with that much confidence, and now I'm getting a little bit.
Well, you have yet to experience the first question doubt that comes to everyone on Stump the Expert.
It is Stump.
All right,
Yeah, it's like, do you ever see like those crash tests they do on cars? That's what it feels like.
You're the dummy that's like, this is the one with airbags, right?
Yeah,
I got the airbag car, right?
I volunteered for this, so I'll take what I was even so confident that I didn't bone up on anything. I just rolled into this.
All right, who wants to go first?
All right, TJ. I'll ask the first question on this. This is a question about the Umbrella Man. Do you know the Umbrella Man?
I know exactly who the Umbrella Man is.
Oh man, my question's way too easy. This is good.
So, for anybody who might not, the Umbrella Man is a man who was standing on the side of the road when Kennedy was assassinated. He was holding a black umbrella, which he opened fairly soon before Kennedy drove by, and he was moving the umbrella around. So
Like
the
a
theories that came out of
signal.
it are things that he was like signaling for when shots should be taken. There was another theory I saw that was that the umbrella itself had a poison dart that it shot out to paralyze Kennedy.
To make it easier to hit him with a bullet in a moving car.
I love
But
the
my,
different things people do with the same information.
Yeah. My question for you though, who was the Umbrella Man, and what reason did he give for having a black umbrella open at the time?
Oh, because it did end up just being a witness, and the dude was like, "No, I was just standing there with the umbrella." I could.
You
not
did say
tell
that you were a big fan of the Oliver Stone movie, and this is a character in that movie.
See, I can hear.
Man,
Before we asked the first question, you were like, "Yeah, I got this,"
Yep.
and then that doubt creeps in.
Really wishing for
It's
those
like
airbags right about now.
you said the Umbrella Man, and the image flashed in my face, like from the Zapruder film. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what this is. And then you're like, what's his name? Why'd he open the umbrella? I was like, I don't know. So, man, I'm not gonna get his name. I keep wanting to say Donald Sutherland, but he was in a different scene. Oh man, I think he. I'm gonna go with a mundane reason for opening the umbrella. The sun was in his eyes.
Unfortunately, not. It was intentional. The man's name was Louis Stephen Witt. He says he was protesting the Kennedy family for appeasing Adolf Hitler before World War II, and a black umbrella was British Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain had a trademark black umbrella, and the Kennedy family was close with him while he was supporting Nazis.
Jesus.
So his reason was he was protesting the Kennedy family.
That sounds just as
Very,
plausible
very,
as any other
very
conspiracy
similar.
theory that I've heard about the Kennedy assassination.
Right.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I gotta say,
I mean,
a
that's
little on the
deep
nose.
cuts, I guess.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
I don't know how he thought everybody was going to get all of that symbolism as he stood there with his black
Just on the
umbrella.
side of the
Like, did
road.
he
Right.
did he leave that day going like, they're gonna know exactly what this means?
Oh yeah, no, he was very confident.
Just like everyone who goes into Stump the Expert.
Yeah. So, TJ, are you aware of the whole situation, like the conspiracy about the connection between Kennedy and Lincoln?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those who aren't aware, there's a major conspiracy that they're connected, maybe done by the same like overarching group of people or anything, but that there's just too many coincidences between the assassination of Lincoln and the assassination of Kennedy for them not to be connected in some way. Years ago, there was a big old list of all the connections that was published, and a lot of them are true. Like they were elected to Congress 100 years apart. They were elected to the presidency 100 years
Yeah,
apart.
numerical coincidences.
A lot of numerical coincidences. Their succeeding presidents were both named Johnson. Just like random stuff like that. But there are 4 different things on this list that are completely bullshit made up. I'm asking you to name me 2 of them.
Okay. Lincoln was warned by his secretary Kennedy. Is bullshit.
That is one. Yep.
And there was some kind of connection between their assassins that was bull crap. I don't know why I censored myself there. Probably because I was deep in thought.
That might be the first censor we've ever had on this show.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
definitely.
Yeah. My mom can listen to that segment.
Okay, so
That one sentence.
You're close. There are a lot of connections just about the assassins themselves.
one of them, I think it's about where Booth was caught at versus where Lee Harvey Oswald was caught at. And they like make this connection that Booth was caught in a storehouse and killed Lincoln in a theater and was caught in a storehouse, but Oswald killed Kennedy from a storehouse and was caught in a theater. And that's also some bullshit, right?
Are you gonna put that as your final answer?
That means it's not bullshit.
No, it's not necessarily, but there is some deliberation that would be needed.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna lock that in because I know that that's one of the things on the list, and I'm gonna call bullshit on it.
It is one of the things on the list. So the idea is that Lincoln was killed in a theater and his assassin was killed in a warehouse. And then the opposite for Kennedy. So he was shot from a warehouse, and then they got Oswald at the theater. This isn't one, when I was looking it up, this isn't one that I necessarily considered total bullshit because it depends on your definition of warehouse. And it's literally just like everything was like, yeah, this is kind of true, but it was like a storehouse. Like they didn't manufacture stuff.
Right.
They were just like holding stuff. So I'll leave it up to the rest.
I mean, what do you think, you guys? Do you think that he gets a point for stumping me, or that he doesn't get a point for stumping me?
I gotta say, when I was thinking of alternate definition for warehouse, I was just thinking about a house that gets hair every full moon and eats it.
I forget exactly what
it's
it
a full
hold on,
moon. My house is gonna come alive and try to kill us all. Someone get the silver bullets.
And then the next morning it wakes up naked in a field.
So this is the description here is Oswald did shoot Kennedy from a textbook warehouse before being arrested in a movie theater. Booth did shoot Lincoln in Ford's theater, but did not escape to a warehouse. He was captured and killed 12 days later in a tobacco barn in Bowling Green.
That's a warehouse.
Tobacco barn? No, it isn't. It's a barn where they grow tobacco.
It's a big building where you hold inventory.
So
that sounds like a warehouse to me.
Yeah.
So basically, what you're saying is the conspiracists are right, and that's a woo-woo random coinkydink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm willing to give you each a half a point.
Yeah.
What about this, TJ? Do you think you'd be able to pick out any of the other ones?
So there are 3 other ones.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I already said that Lincoln was warned by his blah blah blah.
Yeah,
right.
Which was the biggest one, and honestly, one of the ones that I wasn't sure that you were going to get.
Is there one about their wives?
There is one about their wives, but it is actually correct.
Damn it. Damn coincidences.
Right. It was that they both lost a child within weeks of being living at the White House.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
that.
that's certainly got to be a creepy connection and not stress in any way.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you know what? For the sake of time, and because I'm not necessarily one of those people that have to win at everything. It's about playing the game. I'll let you have your point and say you stumped me.
No, it's I. That's why I leave it up to the other guys. It's a
tough one.
That wasn't the one that I was thinking of.
Yeah, that's just thinking about this podcast, Noel style.
I mean, I'm down for the 0.5 just to give you guys crazy math to figure out at the end of the season. So my I will be felt.
Half a point.
Do we want to do that? Do we want to split the point?
I'll take the split.
I love how
I'm good with that.
This visit,
Yes.
TJ gives all y'all pity points.
He designed an entire game for you, Noel.
I am excited for the finale when Connor either wins by half a point or loses by half a point.
Yeah, no, I know.
I was wondering when we'd get to the point where we'd make inside jokes that they'd have to listen to the first episode I was on to get.
Yeah. So the other ones, just to throw them out, was that they were both killed by Southerners, but Booth was born in Maryland, which was a Union state.
Oh.
They also claimed that the 2 assassins, Booth and Oswald, were born 100 years apart, which would be 1838 and 1938, but Booth was born in 1839. And then the other one, which is really fucking stupid, is that I think it was a week before the assassination, Lincoln was in Monroe, Maryland. And a week before the assassination, Kennedy was with Marilyn Monroe. But here's the thing. is Marilyn Monroe had been dead for a year.
Someone sprained their shoulder reaching that hard, and it wasn't even correct.
Clearly, what they're implying is that JFK was a necrophiliac.
Yeah,
And...
I gotta say it still checks out.
So I gotta say this category was, I think, so hard for all of us, but for me in particular, because every question I came up with was like, is this really easy or really hard? And with that in mind, I don't know if my question is really easy or really hard. Here we go. One of the theories about JFK's assassination is that he was in fact killed by a cabal of billionaires because of an executive order that he signed in June of 1963 that affected the Federal Reserve. What was the name of that executive order, and what did it do?
Okay, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get the name of the order. But what it did was basically abolish the Fed and put us back on gold standard.
Okay, so the executive order was Executive Order 11110, and it changed the way that the Federal Reserve could issue silver certificates, and it was part of Kennedy's long-term plan to stop issuing silver certificates altogether.
Well, damn.
It was close.
Damn you, silver certificates.
And I will say, I believe that I have stumped you, which gives me a point, which sweeps me the episode for the bonus point.
Oh,
damn it.
God damn it.
You're welcome. Because, dude, let me tell you, I totally knew it was silver certificates, and I knew it was 11110, and I was just playing that, so, smooth on my part. You know who gave me the $50 this time.
Tom's gonna win again, isn't he?
Tom's the reigning champion. He's got a
season again.
big lead.
Man, I'm sorry, you guys. Right. I got stuck on the gold standard because the whole abolish the Fed and put us back on the gold standard thing was a push. I bet Noel's not gonna get a point though.
Yo, man,
boy.
I've been shaking in my boots this entire game. God, if you're going to get another question right, it's definitely got to be this one.
Plus, just for the record, TJ, if you get this right, then guests have outscored Noel so far in the season.
Oh,
yes,
so
that's true.
I thought it'd be up. Is it like 6-4 me?
It is 5 to 4.5 now.
I should have just been selfish and taken the point.
My effects will be felt for episodes to come.
Oh my God. I'm going to get thrown down to the disposal for this. All right, so mine is just an insanely simple question. The Lincoln Continental that JFK was riding at the time of the assassination was codenamed what? Gotta say, I love that pause.
You know what? Maybe I'm not an expert. Maybe I'm just an enthusiast.
You're answering at the same rate as we basically did throughout the season, so you don't have to feel bad about that.
You've got as much time as you need.
I swear to Christ, if mine is the only one that is answered correctly, again.
I mean, you got half a point, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, TJ at least waited to ask the question before he answered it correctly.
Here's what kills me. It's like I can tell you all the stuff about it. Like I can tell you that it was immediately taken and cleaned and reupholstered. I can tell you that there was a bullet through the windshield. I can tell you where the governor was sitting in the car. I can tell you everything about the damn car, except its code name.
Except that it's the 1993 Toyota Corolla.
Time traveling Corolla.
Yeah, 30 years ahead of time.
I'm going to just say Eagle 1, even though I know it's wrong, but I refuse to not answer.
No, I appreciate that. I was going to force you to answer either way.
Just gonna hold you down and make you talk.
I will hold you down from a distance.
All right, are you locking in Eagle 1?
Yeah, I'm going to lock it in because I don't know.
I'm sorry, TJ. It was actually called the X100, which is not, honestly, like, as far as, the idea of code names goes, not that far off.
Right?
Yeah.
I just gone Eagle 1.
Oh man,
just so I'd be right
nervous
now.
About that.
Yeah.
A big weight is off the shoulders.
And you know, I feel saddened now because I was all like, I'm good. And you know what? Here's the thing. Even if I would have boned up, I probably wouldn't have boned up on the kind of stuff that y'all asked. I was expecting someone be like, did you know that Kennedy and Governor Connolly weren't the only people who got hit by a bullet in Dealey Plaza that day? And I'd be like, yeah, I know, because of James Teague, bitch. But that's not the kind of questions you asked.
That's the crapshoot of the game.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you still made it to the average two out of three, 1 out of 3.
Half out of 4.
Half out of 4, but I averaged it out before Connor was able to answer all of them. At that time, our average was 15%, which is only like a touch higher than a half out of 4.
Yeah.
Which
is
is
it
like
too
12
late
and a
for me
half.
to switch and say, let's do Roswell?
Yes.
Damn it.
Who, in fact, did do the nasty in the pasty?
Okay. Well, with
All
that.
right. Yeah.
You guys want to do some fake ads?
Yeah,
we should do some fake ads.
Time.
Oh man, I actually have one for this week, and
I do too.
I am. You know, one of these days, Trevor, we're going to have the same ad, and I'm gonna.
I highly doubt that.
I don't know. I have a really bad poem coming up your way.
Oh, guess what?
Today's episode of the Never Games is brought to you by Frackin' Frack. Do you really want to swear, but you're in front of an 8-year-old or are an 8-year-old? Try Frackin' Frack. Endorsed by Elmer Fudd.
That's also what Joe Pesci says in Home Alone, right?
Maybe.
Is it?
Yes, yeah.
Today's episode is also brought to you by Taco Bell Camp.
That's how the commercial ends.
Yeah.
It's good.
Today's episode is brought to you by the second place sensation with a sweet spot for alliterations, making games like education, location, information, while one spot from pole position and lighting bowls of his own volition. One man I would never troll. It's good old Noel. Don't miss the bits of Mr. McGinnis like fishin' or fizzin' everything in the kitchen. Finished in last in the season of the pigeon, and on the pizza he bought is where his answers are written. So if you're seeking a second place finish, you want the help of Noel McGinnis.
That was spectacular.
Can you send that to me for my OK Cupid?
Trevor Busta Rhymes over here.
Yeah. Today's episode is also brought to you by me. No. Hey, y'all. Are you looking for a personal call? Something where you can put your bully in their place? Well, now you've seen it all. Today's episode is brought to you by the U-Haul Drag Race. Trailers and trucks and cars and all. Time to start the whole chase. Sponsored by RuPaul's Beer Hall. There's nothing about this you wouldn't want to embrace. Go to dragrace.com to sign up for the finals in Montreal. The U-Haul Drag Race. Balls to the wall, drop the bass, and go to space.
All that rhyming, you guys are doing great. Mine's going to suck in comparison because I just came up with it.
As
that
is
usually
the
makes
case
them
with
better.
90% of...
Yeah.
That's what I usually do.
Well, listeners, this episode of Never Games is brought to you by my crushing defeat. So anytime that you feel that you've had a bad day, just remember the sense of failure that I feel from my crushing defeat. So, and it also makes Noel feel better about himself because I didn't outscore him.
I love it. All right. TJW from Pick Me Podcast. TJ, where can people find you online?
Well, they can follow me on Twitter. They can also find me on Facebook if they just search at PickMePod. PickMePod, all one word. And if you feel like you need to reach out and contact me because you were like, man, that guy was really funny on Never Games, I'm going to have to tell him how funny he was. You can contact me at thehumantj@gmail.com. And be sure to check out my Podcaster's Choice series. I'm really proud of it. And I think there's a lot of good information in there for any current or potential podcasters.
Absolutely.
Some good stuff.
Alrighty.
Can't recommend it enough. And TJ, thank you so much for joining us. It was a blast as always.
Yes.
Thank you for having me.
And everybody, you can check the show notes. This is season 2, episode 11. You can find links to TJ's podcast, to his Twitter, Facebook, also with this episode in the description. All right, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Never Games. If you enjoyed this, like, follow, and subscribe. That is how we get super famous. That's all we want. Fame. Not even the fortune part. We just want the fame. We just want everybody who sees us as walking down the street to recognize us.
From this podcast.
Yes. Not by face, only by voice.
Yeah, we also wouldn't hate hearing from you guys if you have any questions, comments, concerns, or you're just really lonely and you want to like talk or whatever. You can find us on all social media platforms, _never_games. Email at hello@thenevergames.com. Phone 406-GAMES-24. That is 406-426-3724.
And if you're just like huge fans of us and you want to support us with that sweet, sweet green, not grain, you can find our Patreon, which is patreon.com/thenevergames. For as little as $1 a month, you can get a shout out on air. Or if you just got more money than you know what to do with and you want to shoot us a bunch, I run a D&D game every 6 months for high tier Patreon supporters. You can join that game.
Yeah, we're talking to you, Conan O'Brien. You can give us some money.
I'll run a game for Conan O'Brien.
And for, I don't know, the 30th week in a row, our website still is thenevergames.com. You can find all the episodes and any backlogs of information. You can find out bios of us. You can find out the current scoreboard and see the absolute percentage of silver place medals I have for this entire series. And I gotta say,
82.
it's pretty... It's 82.
It's 82.
Better than my high school GPA. You can find any of that at our website, which is, once again, thenevergames.com. And finally, the music of this episode and all the other episodes have been done by Good Damn It. That is me on the drums and everything else, and Trevor on the guitar.
Who does bass?
No one. No one does bass.
I'm going to start actually adding other
Trevor,
instruments in.
Trevor does bass.
There's just going to be a random triangle at the end of one of the themes. There's, get a kazoo.
Triangle is done by you.
Yeah, and also Trevor glocks that spiel.
Noel got too high this time.
All right, well, thank you for listening to yet another wonderful episode of The Never Games. My name has been and will always be Noel McGinnis.
I am Trevor Kelly, at least for now.
My name is Tom O'Brien, as far as you know. I am
Connor Provost. Good night, sweethearts.
Gotta say it again, this has been The Never Games. Do we play games?
Almost
Lock that spiel.
Has been a Steerback Studios production.
The Baja Blast turned into a Fuego Blast by the end of the night.
It didn't hit me until the next.
Noel, I need you to eat my hand or else I'm going to die.
Yeah, that's what I thought you meant.
I'm just as snarky in real life.
So...
It'd be like, question 1, where the fuck do you get off, Jim Parsons?
90 days. No, it is actually 6 months.
With the bear.
6 months with the bear as your cellmate.
Yeah.